I have made this Pomodoro timer to keep me focused in my studies, a 25 minutes Pomodoro timer with 5 minutes of break, and after 4 sessions you'll have a long break of 15 minutes. So you can make yourself one. I have completed making this and I have uploaded this tutorial. You have this all wirings and the code in this video. You'll have this code in the GitHub and all the components are listed in the description. And let's start this video right now. To start this Pomodoro project, we need all these components here in the table. You can see as head of this Pomodoro project, we are using this microcontroller, ESP32 microcontroller, and then to show the timer, we are using an OLED display. It's a 9.6-inch OLED display. Then to buzz the start or the end of the Pomodoro timer, I'm using a buzzer. Then this RGB LED is used to just show the status of this Pomodoro project. Like if it's paused, then it will show blue color, and if it's running it will show red color, and when it's break it will show green color. And then a few resistors I'm using. These resistors are for this RGB. They're 220 ohms and these are 4700 ohms to use in the as pull-up resistor for this OLED display, and obviously a few jumper wires and breadboard. I'm using 2 breadboard, but you can definitely use 1. At first using the ESP32 and this OLED display, and let's connect them. Like the VCC is going to be in the 3.3 voltage, ground to the ground, and SCL data to D22 and SDA to the D21. So let's do the wiring between these two. Have a click. Okay, the wiring between this OLED and ESP32 is done, but I'm using pull-up resistors like 4700 pull-up resistors between this VCC and SCL and VCC to SDA to have a fluent connection between them, so you can use these pull-up resistors with them. Now I'm going to connect this buzzer. So to connect this buzzer with our ESP32, I'm using D13 pin and ground the buzzer's ground with this ESP32's ground. So let's connect them. So now I have to just connect this RGB and this push button. This push button is to pause or start the timer. So let's start with this RGB. Like RGB, this is a common anode type RGB. You can see this longer hand is the positive and others are the negative. So you have to use this 220 ohms resistors, or around this value you can use them. So let's connect this RGB with our ESP32. So let's just connect this with all these 3 resistors, not to burn this LED, this RGB LED. So start. So lastly, we have to connect this push button. For this, I'm using D27 pin of this ESP32 and this ground. This is the push button. So let's connect this push button. Okay, everything is now connected, push button, and all this wiring is done. So I have pre-uploaded this code in this ESP32. If I just connect this with the with this USB, then this Pomodoro timer will just work if all this wiring is done perfectly. Let's see what happens. Let's hope for the best. So I have connected. So you can see the OLED is turned on and it says Pomodoro and this timer is showing, and if I press this push button, this light will be red color and this buzzer will buzz. Let's see. Yes, everything's working. The timer started and it's just started counting down. Let's pause this timer. So yeah, it's working perfectly. Now let's go to see how this code is actually working. Like first of all, you have to install a few libraries like this Adafruit GFX. For this OLED display, you have to install this from this library manager. You just search the name and you have to install this with all dependencies. So next you have to start this OLED display settings. Like you have to tell this ESP32 the height and width of this OLED display. And then you have to do all the pin definition like the buzzer pin, the push button pin, this RGB pins, and then the duration you want for yourself, and then the timer state, all these variables, and these Pomodoro phases like long break, short break, and Pomodoro time. And then assign some global variables you're gonna use in the loop section of this coding, like you have to turn them false or true based on your conditions. Then you have to do all this setup, like the pin modes input or output, and this setup like the display settings of this OLED display, like where this cursor should be, how should be the text size, or everything. And then in the loop section, loop is continuously happening, just 3 functions continuously, like handle this button. If I press this button, it just start, again press, then it pauses, and that's the handle button. Update the timer, like in a while loop I'm just continuously reducing the time, like timer minus minus after every 1 second. And then use a small delay, and then update this LED, like updating this LED based on the code. For now this LED is blue, that means the time is paused, and if I press again it will be red. See, you can see it's red. Like this moment this function is called and the this LED mode is changed. In the handle button, when we are handle the button, like when I'm pressing, it's handling the mode, like if it is paused and then I press it, it checks with the if else loop that is it paused actually. And later on, like the start timer, you have to just start the timer using this millis function. You just start the timer. So in the pause timer or the start timer or the resume timer or restart timer, I'm playing this buzzer once. Here this play button once is called here. See, the buzzer is called. Again the buzzer is called. Then this reset timer, what this reset timer does is if the Pomodoro timer is ended, if this 25-minute session is ended, the timer resets itself. And update the timer, like in loop it's updating the timer after every second, like update every second, and it's reducing the value, like remaining time minus minus after every second. Okay, timer complete, playing the buzzer for thrice. Like if I press here long enough for 2 seconds, the timer will automatically reset, and the buzzer will buzz thrice. So next what we got, then all this update display, what you can see in this display, this function is called, and the whole thing is updated in the display calling this function. You can change or tweak things based on your OLED display size, like maybe your OLED display is 1.2 inch, but for me it's 9.96 inch, so I'm using this. You can change the set cursor or the text size based on your preference, and that's the complete code. Just have a basic understanding of the code, and now you can copy from my GitHub and paste it and run this code. So let's upload this. So I think you liked making this project in this channel, and I believe you can make very different updates, and please let me know in the comment section. And if you have liked making this project with me in this channel, please like, share and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.